Good day, everyone. This is Sightless Living. My name is Anita, and today we're talking tools.
Big bold text appears and reads, Sightless Living. Copyright symbol 2021-2024. Sightless Living. All rights reserved. Then disappears.
Do you have a toolbox? If so, let me know what you keep in yours. I'm going to share what I keep in mine as a blind person. Well, I did start it when I was sighted. And we have two types of toolboxes. My spouse has one, and I call that the Community Toolbox. And mine is my personal toolbox. So he has to ask for permission if he needs anything out of here. And I just take what I want out of his.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Without further ado, let's get started. When I first started getting tools, I started out with the orange people. That's Home Depot. Years later, I switched to the blue people, Lowe's. And I like this box because it's sturdier than the orange one I got. When I first got one, budget's tight, I got the most economical box I could find. When I stepped up to the blue people, this one's a little sturdier. It's cobalt blue. I like the color because it's close to purple. It's a little longer than the orange one. It has a boxy handle that swings up. I have the front facing you, and it stops halfway, and it has like a rubber gasket on it. Then in the front, it has a hole in the center where I can put a padlock and lock it up. It has latches on the side. All four corners have rubber bumpers. So it's pretty sturdy and durable. On the top, there is a little caddy that snaps in. And it holds screws. And I just fling it up and pull it up straight. And it comes out. It's a small tray with a little built-in handle, looking like a caddy. It has a clear plastic lid on it, and you can just pop it open. I have it open facing the camera, and you see little sections. And I keep screws, nails. There's slots for pens, grease pencils. That's the pencils you can write on wood and on the wall. And then it has like different objects in here that I stick in here. So this is handy for like miniature jobs. Maybe the kids leaned on the window and pulled the curtain rod out or something like that, and you want to go screw it back in. So I like this. This is for quick jobs. And then you can just swing it back in. I think the bottom is cobalt blue as well. On the sides, there's a part that protrudes on the bottom. And that's to go in these two areas on the top. So I just put them in there. And you don't have to see to be able to do this. And then I swing it back down. And then you can snap it or slam it down. But that's how it goes. If I just drop it, it slams in. Or if I put it down daintily, I can just push it in to snap it. So that's all there is to that. There's nothing on the sides. I'm moving it out of the way so we can go inside. And I'm going to take the latches and open it up. The top does not go all the way and fold to the back like some of the toolboxes do. This is very durable. I've had it a while. I go inside it. There's a caddy with a handle in the middle. It's a tray. I have other things in here. I have screws and packages and things not opened, which I'd have to scan because I probably don't remember what's in there. I have some of these flat plastic things, which I scrape the wall with when I'm using joint compound and patching walls. There's little compartments. I'll tilt it upward. I have some box cutters in here. I have pliers. And I have wall plugs with suppressors on it. What do they call these? I have some of these wall plugs with protection. And I just have a bunch of random stuff in here. My first item I got was a hammer. After ruining a couple pairs of shoes by using the heel as a hammer, I invested in the real hammer. So this is a smooth face. It's made of metal. I don't know exactly what kind, because they have hammers nowadays that have all kinds of materials. Titanium, platinum, steel. I forgot some of the other ones. And if you want to get real fancy, you can get rose gold, I think it was. But I can't see spending that kind of money on a hammer. But this is good. When I purchased it, I don't remember how much it was, but this has been with me a long time. I remember the bottom is kind of brown. And this is a framing hammer. So I'll put that there. And since we're on the subject of hammers, I also wanted to show some of these other hammers I got out of the Community Toolbox. This here is a sledgehammer. This is one that I can use by hand. It has a metal top. It's like, I'd say it's a rectangle. It's smooth on both sides, and the handle is wood. I like to use this for from pounding something in the ground, like the gate post. We have to change those out from time to time. So it's a little metal tubing, and you stick it in the ground so the stick can go in there from the gate. And you don't want to dig a hole around it, because then it will make it too soft and it will like twist and turn till it rains and sets it. So you want to come along with a sledgehammer and just pound it into the ground. So that's what I use with these. Or the little stakes that you use when you're putting down the fabric weed block and stuff like that. You can use one of these. I don't know if anyone does any gardening. This is a good tool to have. Then the next one is a rubber mallet. This is similar to the sledgehammer. The top is shaped like a barrel. It's a little thick in the middle, and then on the sides it's flat, but it's rubber. And the handle is wooden. And this is good for if you're going to take maybe two items together. Maybe they're two pieces of trim and you want to bang them together, but you don't want to get holes or indents from the hammer. So you would use something like this. Usually what I did, I had a pipe job. I was making a project and I needed to put something in the pipe. Well, I didn't want the edge of the pipe to like curl over and become crooked. I needed it to stay straight. So the project piece I was putting in it stayed straight. So I actually took a block of wood, sat it on top of the piece I was nailing in, and I just kept pounding it in till it got to the level I needed. And that was it. If you do stuff like that, you need to bang on something or pound. This is a good tool to have, the rubber mallet. Then I have some other hammers. These are also framing hammers. One is a little taller than the other. These have milled faces where they were altered. So this is not a smooth face. it has a crisscross, like a graph kind of face. This is called waffle head or a waffle face. And what it helps with is when you pound it in a nail, usually when I pound in a nail and get down to the end where maybe an inch or so is sticking out, the nail will start leaning either to the left or the right. And you don't want to keep pounding because it will just get crooked. It won't set right. The head will be sticking up out of your project and it's not good. Then you got to take this part on the other side of the hammer, rest the head in there and rock it out. You know, you got it upside down, you're rocking it out. So I like to use these when I'm building something. And I like these on 2x4s. And if I'm going to go fix a piece of trim on the wall or finish a chair or something like that, then I won't use these. But if I'm building a project from scratch, I will use those waffle hammers. So let me put those out the way. My spouse loves hammers. He always gets different ones. I believe, and this is what my parents drilled in my head as a young person, buy once, don't buy twice. Measure twice, cut once. My father always said, buy once. That's it. So that's what I do. I look for the best quality to buy for myself that my budget can handle. And that's what I did. And then I never lent out my tools. People would always ask, and they're like, oh, Nita, you're so stingy, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you didn't help me buy it. And I know I won't get it back, so that's it. I once lent a hammer out to a friend to put a poster or something up in her house, and I had to run her down. So I said, you know what, never mind. I'm not doing that again. She ruined it for everyone because I don't lend out my tools. Next, I have a bunch of these tape measures. These are the steel ones. And I used these a lot when I was sighted. Now I still hang on to them because when people help me, I notice a lot of people don't know fractions. So these are helpful because they have the fractions right on the tape measure. And they don't make these like they used to. I have tons of them. Why do I have so many? They kept disappearing. I was like, what's happening to my tape measures? So every time I'm in Lowe's or Home Depot, I would go and get another tape measure. And these things are expensive, so I was getting a little annoyed. One day we're cleaning out the community toolbox, and I'm finding all my tape measures. So I say to my spouse, how did all of these get in here? Oh, I don't know. So I said, okay, I'll fix your little red wagon. I'm taking my tape measures back. And that's what I did. Now on this side, when I stepped up to the braille world and disabled community, since I like crafts and like to do it myself, I definitely had to have a tape measure. This tape measure is for the blind. It has a little lanyard on it. It still has the metal case or some kind of case, plastic maybe. And this is by Maxi Aids. It has a piece that sticks off horizontally. You cannot push that back in, and that's your first 6 inches. This works a little strange. It's a 25-foot roll, and after you get to the 6 inches, you pull the tape out to get the rest of the inches and feet you need. But this is good for quick jobs, like if you're doing something you need to be 1 inch away, 2 inches away. Anything up to 6 inches, this is good. I have it facing towards you. At the edge of the 6 inches on my right, your left, at the beginning of the tape measure, there are 2 dots, top and bottom. If you know braille, I would say it's the 1 and 2 dot position, but it's not braille. This is not to be read as braille. And then you move over going to my left, your right. There's a dot in the middle. That's the half mark. Then you go over some more, you get the 2 dots up and down. You move over more to the left. Well, my left, your right, there's another dot, making it the half mark. And it goes like that all the way up to the 6 inches. Then, when you need more footage or length, you pull out your tape measure. I'm noticing it's getting little kinks in it because it's much thinner than these industrial ones you purchase at the home improvement store. Let me just lock it real quick. I just take this little lever here and I push it towards the tape. It locks it in place. This way I can rest it on the table and show you. Here we have the tape measure. And I'll put it down so you can read it. Let me just rest it in my little box here. So, we'll see. So I'll hold it like this. Hopefully you can see it. It starts with markers at the edge. Holding this lever or edging, because you would rest it against the edge of whatever you're trying to measure, and then you extend it to whatever you're trying to measure. Then you can feel the different dots on your tape measure. I feel one. Let's see where here's a dot here. Then there's a dot here. These are 2. They're furthest spaced away. So this entire part here would be 1 foot. And I think it should say 1 foot right about here. Then it stretches again and you see, let me unlock it. I just want to give you an idea how it works. The thing I don't like about this is it is so flimsy compared to the tape measure I have for the sighted. And then you move more. I'm going to my left, your right, and there's a dot here in the center. That's the half mark. So now I would say I'm at 1.5 feet. Then when I come to the double one, which feels like a K if you know braille, I keep moving to, there it is right here. And I'm thinking this is the 2 foot mark. So now I have this extended 2 feet. And that's how it is all the way to the end. Okay, so that's 2 feet. Then you keep going. Here's the half mark. That's 2.5 feet. There's the whole mark. And now you're at 3 feet. And yeah, you can feel the braille. They have a 3 there in braille. Then you go to the half mark. And then over here, they have a 4 in braille. So this tape measure has braille on it, but not every minute. It does not have it at the half mark. So this here is the half mark. There's no braille there. I go over here, moving to my left, your right. There's the braille there. Somewhere over here. You should see it there. That's 1 foot. Then when you get to the 2 feet, there's a 2 here. So it should say 2 feet in here somewhere for braille. For those of you who can see. If you have a family member that's blind, this is a great gift for them if they do projects. And then it goes on. Here's the 3 mark, because there's a 3 in braille. So right in this area, it should be printed, is what I was told. So I'm not going to go through the whole tape measure like that, but they do make tape measures for the blind. So let me put this back in my caddy where I keep it. And then I'll just show you quickly Here's the printed one. And look at that. That stays out straight. It's hard to bend. I'm trying to bend it. There. Finally got it to bend. And when I used to be sighted, I would just have this all bent up and trying to measure. Okay, let me see. Let me tell you. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's how I used to do. And nothing. It just snaps back into place. It goes back in. And no kinks. That's the problem I have with the braille one. It's handy. I'm able to measure and do things on my own as a blind person, which I like. But I have a couple of quirks or qualms about this. It's very thin, see? I don't even have to try to bend it. It's just going to bend automatically. And then this here, the part that sticks out to 6 inches, that's a little weird because here's your belt loop. And if you clip it on your belt, I got it up on my chest, it's sticking out sideways. So if you have to bend, this is on your waist and your belt loop, and you're bending over, bending forward, it's going to kind of crease you in the tummy or maybe the groin. So that's the problem I find with this. So if anyone's interested in trying to find one of these things, that's my take on their tape measure. Now, unfortunately, I have not seen anybody else caring enough about the blind to create a tape measure. I guess they feel that once you go blind, you don't want to do anything, and that's not true. So I was happy that I got that. Now I'll put the caddy out of the way. Let me move it over here. And I'll show you what else I have as a blind person. Now, if you can't read braille, not to worry, because there is a talking tape measure. It takes a 9-volt battery, which I keep in here because I don't leave it in the unit. I find that leaving batteries in the toys, well, not really toys, but for the guys, these are toys. For us women, we want to get the job done. Or I will say tools. What I'm going to do is open the battery door, which when I have it facing you, you'll see a digital screen. And then on the left side is the battery compartment. I take the digital screen with the buttons, that is the face, and I put it down on the table. I'll take my thumbs and press the compartment away from me, lift it up, put it down on the table, and then here is the battery connection. I'm taking a 9-volt, which I keep in here. Hopefully it's not exhausted. And I will plug it in. Let me feel it. Okay, so it goes this way. There's only one way you can sit this 9-volt in here. It's just going to take me a minute. I got the battery in. And now when you pull your tape measure out to measure something, it should start talking.
0 inches.
So these are the controls here. I'll show it up to the camera.
Turning off in 5 seconds.
You have your digital readout up here. And you have different buttons here. I'm not going to go into them because this is not a tape measure video. But I just wanted to show you because this is kind of pricey if someone's interested. I don't know what the price is now because I've had this for years. But I always just press a button.
0 inches.
And then I pull out my tape measure.
18 inches. 18 and 11 16.
I will measure my toolbox.
Inches. 18 and 5 16 inches.
Okay, so now let me just...
18 and 5 16 inches. 21 and 5 16 inches. 21 and 5 16 inches.
So that's the length of my toolbox. And then after I don't want to measure it anymore, I just press the button.
21 and a quarter inches.
Which is up here at the top, and it retracts the tape measure. Now I'm going to measure the width.
of an inch.
And once you move the tape measure, it starts
9
talking.
and 7/8 inches.
So it's 9 7/8 inches in depth if I'm going to look from the front to the back. Whatever you slide your tape measure to,
14 and 7/16 inches.
that's what it's going to tell you.
10 and 15/16 inches.
And even if you want to measure and include the case I think is,
inches.
I don't know, 3 inches?
10 and
Let's
1/8
see.
inches.
Doesn't like that, so it's not going to tell me what it is.
7 and 1/8 inches.
I think it's like maybe 4. I don't know. I never measured the case, but it does allow you to include the case. So I just press that down. And then I'm just going to take the battery back out.
3 and 3/4 inches.
3 3/4 inches is the case. I'm just going to open the battery door, take the battery out, and put this away.
Turning off
There. And then I just put it back in its case. I find the most comfortable fit for it. And then I put the battery in there. I started taking the batteries out because a lot of times when you leave the batteries in the tools, I don't know what makes them wear down, but they always are dead when you take them out. So that's another tool for the blind. Then what I got is a screwdriver set. And I'll just show you that real quick. I think everybody should have a set of screwdrivers. And this set just has all different types, flatheads, and Phillips, which is like a cross. And these are short, and you got long ones, and you got fat ones. I like to have sets because I like to build furniture. And this gives you all kinds of tools. That one's like a square. Sometimes you get those screws that have squares. So I have several of those that have different size squares. Several Phillips. Several flatheads. I got long ones. That's a flathead. It's very long. The length of the box. And then I have real pointy ones. So I'm just thumbing through here. Do you have some that are in peculiar positions? It has a Phillips on one edge. Then it comes up, bends to the left. Your left, my right. And then there's a flathead on one side. So if you have to screw in a tight area, you may have to screw like this. I'm taking a peculiar tool. I have the Phillips in my hand, in my left hand, and I'm holding the flat edge with the right, and I'm just swinging it to the left like I am screwing it in, and that's how you have to do sometimes. You get that tool. And there are just different things. Then this one has a point. This is called a hole starter. You want to measure something, you got to drill a hole right here in the center of what you measured. You just sit this down here. You can take your rubber mallet and bang it down to start your hole, and then stick your screw in there and screw it in with a screwdriver. And this was not expensive at all. I got it during Christmas time one year when it was on sale. And this is Lowe's brand, Cobalt. Then I have some other screwdrivers that are in the Community Tools. And here's another weird one. I never figured out what this one's for, but it has a hook at the end, and then it's sharp. So you'll get all kinds of tools over the years. And they come in handy, and it doesn't matter whether you're blind-sighted, low vision. If you know how to use a tool, you'll know how to use a tool. And I like having tools because when you want to do something, you can go ahead and do it. Like one year, I fixed the shower. Something was wrong with it. And my spouse kept saying, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it. I got tired of waiting, so I did it myself. Then he's like, how'd you do that? Then I have a flashlight in here. You should have a flashlight, whether you're blind-sighted, low vision. That's helpful, because if you're blind, you're getting help from a sighted person. They may need that. And this way, you have everything handy, and they don't have to run off trying to find one. And that's why I hang on to my tape measures for sighted people. Then I have something in my baggie. And this is my battery power screwdriver. So you just take that. It runs by a lithium battery. It has a cord, USB plug, and then it has attachments. You stick your whatever, if you want to use the Phillips or a flathead, whatever you want to use, you'll stick it in the shaft hole right there. So you just stick it in there, you tighten it up, and then when you twist the control, which is right here on the handle, it just screws it in. You don't have to be there with your arm twisting and turning and twisting. That's what I like about that. And I also got that one year during Christmas time when they had tools on sale. And that's what I like to do. I like to go there with my spouse. We even use it for date nights. We'll go to a home improvement store during holidays or after the holidays and check out what's on sale. This is more screws and stuff. I have a lot of screws because I like to do projects. I'm even building a project for my canes, and I will show that when I get to it. This is a staple gun. I like the staple gun. This is just a basic old blue. I think it was blue when I bought it. I just got a basic old staple gun. I don't want to swing up the handle because then I have to shoot the staple. But it has a lock on it, which I keep on it. But my spouse had to outdo me and get a fancy one. So I just leave mine in my toolbox. And then there's more things in here. This is more things I purchased. That's not a tool. And then this is my glue gun. I got another tape measure in here. I have them all over. Okay, I'll just put some of this stuff back. And winter time is coming, so it's time to start winterizing. So I will show some of that. And it doesn't matter whether you live in a house or apartment. These are glue sticks. I'll pull one out. They're bendable. They feel kind of tough. They look like maybe thick spaghetti. So I'm showing one here. I'll leave one out so I can show you what I do with it with my glue gun. I stick it back in the baggie. And then here are some more. And these are smaller. And they have different sizes, different grades. And I like to do re-cushioning chairs and things like that. So if I see a chair, I like the way the wood looks or the metal, whatever it is, but I hate the cushions. I'll buy it anyway and just redo the cushions. So I got this glue gun a long time ago. It has a stand. So I'll sit that on the table. It's a flat stand with a rise on the left and a rise on the right. And on the left is like a cradle. The left has a cradle looking thing here. It has a little piece of the stand that sticks out in case the glue drips. And then the back is taller, and that's where the gun's gonna sit. So I'll take out my glue gun, and it doesn't really look like a gun. It has a point at the tip. I'm holding it up to you. On your right, you'll see a nozzle of the glue gun. Then it's like a narrow body. It has a trigger. It sort of looks like a stapler. It rises up in the back, and it's flat at the bottom. The bottom moves up. That's the trigger. And then I'm going to turn it to you. And this is where the plug goes, right down at the bottom. So you're looking at where I would plug in the plug, because the plug comes out of the unit. And then at the top is a round circle. What will happen is I will take my glue stick and I stick it in this hole that's at the top above the plug, and it's sticking out. So I've inserted it in there. And then as I push the trigger, push it up to meet the body of the glue gun, it feeds it in. And then this whole thing is heated and it starts melting and the glue comes out. I'll take the glue stick out. I can just squeeze it and touch my work, and it's just bringing all the glue out. And then I just put things down and hold them in place. So I'll put my glue stick back. And those chairs, I glued them a long time ago when I did the seat cushions. I gave them new interior cushions, and then I bought some tapestry fabric to match the decor, and it works really well. I'll put my flashlight back in a minute. So let me put my stand in my glue gun. Oh, let me show you how it sits in the stand. So here's the stand, and you sit it where the nozzle goes to, that cradle part, and then at the top, that's where the body would sit. And the body has like an opening. I'm showing it to you at the bottom. And that's where this part will sit. So that goes inside the glue gun. See, now it stays there. And I don't have to worry about it falling on my table and maybe starting a fire or something. Because this gun does get very hot. So I will put this back. And I think that's very beneficial, whether you're blind or sighted, for a toolbox, if you're doing minor projects. Me, I like to hang up curtains. I like to take them down. I like to change things to go with the season. So I may have a room set up for 6 months, and then when we get to summer, I may change things around so when the breeze comes through the window, I can move the furniture where you'll get a breeze instead of suffocating, because I do not like to use the central air. I like fresh air. I like to hear the owls and the animals and things like that. Basically, that's what I keep in this toolbox. Let me put it back. My caddy that goes inside. I'll put that back inside the toolbox. I'll make sure I got everything out. I picked everything up. Okay. Then I'll show you some other tools I think are handy. Let me put my talking tape measure back in there. Stuff that we both can use will stay down in the community toolboxes. And I'll still use a circular saw, even though I'm blind, but I'll do it with sighted supervision. I'm not afraid to use tools. I've even used the chainsaw. You just got to be mindful, pay attention, don't have distractions, and pay attention because you don't want to lose your limbs. Here is a DeWalt gun, and this is a screw gun. So I'll just show you that real quick. It comes in a case. This is another find at Christmas time or holiday time when they have the tools. This came with 2 batteries and the charging case. I think they both come with that. But anyway, this runs by a rechargeable battery. Here's one at the bottom. You can just snap them off and snap them back on. And then you just use it. I lock them. And then I unlock them when I want to use it. And I can reverse it. And I just stick it back in the middle so it doesn't work. So that's a good choice. And that's under $100 if you get tired of screwing things and you want something a little more powerful than that little screwdriver I showed you in my toolbox. Because that can't handle this stuff. This is when you're ready to screw things into walls. I had a business, so I used them because I had to drill holes and modify them. I had a decorations business. Anyway, got rid of it. And I'm glad I did, because the economy is a different story. Here's another gun I got. It's another screw gun. I think the one I just had is a hammer drill. I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't know until I put the screw in there. But again, it comes with these batteries. So when you buy the set, you'll get the case, you'll get the screw gun, and 2 batteries. So just sit that in there. Yeah, that's how I had it. And then it's the same thing. This one's heavier than the other one. And you just do the same thing. It has these controls here. I unlock it, and then it goes one way, and then I push it to the other way, and it can reverse. And you just leave it in the middle. If you do this kind of work. And you'll never know what you'll need. And sometimes those screws are so tough to screw in, you'll wish you had one of these. That's something to consider. Now this is a regular drill. And that's for basic screw. But if you have some dry wood or hardwood, you need more power, then you can step up to the hammer drill. Now I have a reciprocating saw and all kinds of things. As you do your different projects, you would want to go and get the proper tools. I always say it's better to be safe than sorry. When I want to build something, there's nothing stopping me. And whether you're blind, sighted, low vision, a senior, disabled, you want to build something, you still can build something. I did have a couple of people on Facebook ask me about different tools I use because they were shocked, I guess, because I'm a woman. But there are plenty of women. There are even construction women. I call myself a handy woman, like you guys call yourself a handy man. Because if I want to get something done and I can tackle it mentally, I'm going to save my money and do it myself. So that's all I have for you today. I thank you for joining me. I hope I've given you some tips for your toolbox. Maybe you don't have a toolbox. Even if you don't want a toolbox, the least I can recommend is at least have a proper hammer. Don't ruin your shoes. Don't be hard-headed like I was back in the day. And have a nice screwdriver set. Those can always come in handy. Even before I bought box cutters, I used to use a flathead screwdriver to just slit it down the box and open it when I got UPS shipments. But eventually that failed because it can rip, or you could get like Mars on it. Then it won't fit in the screws properly. So always use the proper tools. Do your research, and that should suffice. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want some more helpful hints. Turn your notifications under options to all. Feel free to share with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Rolling credits appear in big bold white text scrolling upward from the bottom of the screen. Text reads, Anita, hostess/visionary, mountain stream video, TM symbol, videographer/editor. The rest of the text may be read in the description box below. Thanks for watching.